Tonight, a concert to honor our armed services.
Plus, students hit the jackpot. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision News for November 14, 2014. I'm Xavier Harris.
And I'm Haley Greathouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. All this week, Troy University has held a number of events honoring those who have served in the nation's armed forces in honors of Veterans Day. Well, last night, Troy University Symphony Band contributed their part of the festivities with the annual salute to veterans. Victoria Bailey has the story.
Veterans Day has come and gone, but the Troy Symphony Band continued celebrating the armed forces Thursday night.
We put on our annual Salute to the Veterans concert with the Troy University Symphony Band.
The concert showcased all branches of the military, and one Troy student tells us exactly what he thought of the show.
Oh, I loved it. It was very patriotic, and me being a veteran, I felt like the band represented the armed forces really well.
And not only did the show focus on the military, they had a few guest conductors make appearances with original works of music.
Tonight I had the great honor of having the band perform one of my pieces. In fact, it was the world premiere of the piece. 2 years ago, I was commissioned by the United States Air Force to write a composition for the Air Force Academy, which is out in Colorado. The conductor at the time was Colonel Larry Lang, very, very dear friend. Now, this is a professional group, but they play for those cadets. They're going to play it in Washington, D.C., but I was so thrilled to have the premiere here at Troy.
Victoria Bailey, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The week of Veterans activities continues tomorrow with a Ruckathon fundraiser by the Student Veterans Association. It starts in the morning at 10 a.m. at the Troy University Track and Soccer Complex. The proceeds from the event will be donated to the Wounded Warrior Project and the Lone Survivor Foundation.
UAC hosts many activities for Troy University students to come out and participate in. And on Thursday night, they held their annual casino night, giving students the opportunity to test their lucks at slots, blackjacks, and the money wheel. For students to get raffles and prizes at the end of the night, Daniel O'Hara has a story.
Thursday night, Troy University's UAC held an event known as Casino Night, which gave students the opportunity to come out and gamble with fake money. Students were able to cash out at the end of the night and win a variety of prizes.
Tonight, University Activities Council is hosting Casino Night. That's where students can come and they can get free food. They can play, games that you find in a casino. We have music. We have a DJ.
One of the casino workers tells us actually how they get prepared for a large university such as Troy.
First of all, we talk to our clients as far as to find out exactly what they want, how big of a crowd they have, try to get an idea of, how many tables they would like, and then go from there as far as scheduling the people to come in and work the event.
While members of the UAC thought the inclement weather would stop students from coming out tonight, one member explains how the casino night was a great success.
Well, we've done Casino Night once before already, and we're doing Casino Night once before. It was a big hit. Everybody came out and they really enjoyed themselves, and so we decided to bring it back for the students one more time.
Yeah, it kind of shows you the more fun you can have when you get out, because a lot of people stay in their dorms, but you got things you can come to like Casino Night and have fun.
After Casino Night was over, I got a chance to speak with one of the prize winners. I asked her to tell me how she felt when her ticket number was called out.
Feels pretty good. My heart's beating out of my chest right now.
Daniel O'Hara, Troy TrojanVision News.
UAC will host their last event of this year, which is Wednesday Dollar Movie Night. This week in our Trojan Profile series, we've met some Troy students with some interesting hobbies and talents.
And today, Austin Cofield introduces us to a Troy music student with a unique ability that makes him the envy of most people in the music world.
The man behind this clarinet is none other than Don Leonard, a member of the Troy University Symphony Band as well as the Sound of the South Marching Band. Throughout his years at Troy, he's managed to establish himself as an outstanding member in the band community.
I started band in 6th grade whenever I was in middle school. I remember joining that and really thriving to that. Every other subject I was horrible in. I made D's and C's, and I feel like band was the first class where I really thrived and actually succeeded at. I really enjoyed that.
I have known Don since 8th grade, and he has always been a very compassionate and talented musician and friend. He is the principal bass clarinetist for the symphony band, and I sit second chair. So when we do sectionals like the setting we're in now, he's the one in charge, and he helps us out when we have problems.
Not only is Don a friend, leader, and inspiration to his fellow band members, but he is also one of the few people gifted with a unique talent called perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch is this thing where, you're able to actually produce pitches that are of equal temperament out of the top of your head. 1 in 3,000 people have it.
When he came to Troy University to audition, I knew he was a capable and talented clarinet player, but it wasn't until after he started school here that I found that he had perfect pitch. This is something that can be very useful for a musician. I have some friends who have it, and they've told me it can also be somewhat burdensome.
I would wake up in the middle of the night to sirens, and I would depict, the intervals and all these weird music things that normal people would not be able to pick out.
Don is planning to make use of his talent and skills to further his dream of teaching kids to learn to love music like him. Austin Cofield, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We will continue our Trojan Profile series on Monday when we will meet a student who once made an appearance on a well-known television show.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. Alabama Governor Robert Bentley says the state general fund budget will be the biggest problem lawmakers have next year. Legislative leaders say they'll have a hole of at least $200 million in the budget with the physical lifeline expires.
And an Alabama woman accused of running her granddaughter to death is asking an appeals court to dismiss a capital murder charge against her. Lawyers for 49-year-old Joyce Gerard Harden have filed papers raising questions about the autopsy of a 9-year-old Savannah Harden. The woman had been jailed since February 2012 on charges of killing her granddaughter, accused of making the child run for hours as punishment for telling a lie.
Well, the wintry weather has set a new record low temperature in Birmingham. The National Weather Service says the temperature dropped to 23 degrees earlier today. That's 1 degree colder than the record set in 1986.
And still to come on Troy TrojanVision News, the football team will look for their third win of the season against Idaho. Clay Yeager will give us a preview of the game when he joins us in sports.
Plus, the White House is making some changes to security. We'll have that story and more coming up.
A new report reveals the security service missteps that allowed a fence jumper to make his way into the White House. I'm Craig Boswell in Washington. That story coming up.
I was afraid of that.
Well, guess it's time to get you fixed.
Your pets will start fooling around sooner than you think.
Go on, get out of here!
Accidental litters lead to millions killed in shelters each year. Help prevent more. Fix at month 4.
The warrior spirit. It's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence, conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The football team will look for their third win of the season this Saturday when they take on newcomer to the conference, Idaho. This will be the first meeting between the two teams. Emmy Austin gives us a preview.
The football team is making a long trip to Idaho to take on one of the newest members to the Sun Belt Conference. Troy takes on Idaho, who is currently 1-8 on the season and 9th in the Sun Belt.
They know what they're doing. Say that these people we're going to face this week do too, and certainly Coach Petrino, Paul he's been at a lot of different levels and been successful, and what I see on tape with them is the same kind of thing that we've seen at Arkansas, and same kind of thing we've seen at Western Kentucky. Prolific offenses, and you got to understand that they're going to stress you as best they can.
The team's travel plans for the game include flying out to Moscow, Idaho, but the players say that this doesn't mess up their practice plans.
We know it's a part of football, traveling, so I don't think it'd be a big issue for us all. We all understand what we got to do. We got a job, and we're going to do it to the best of our ability.
And we still practice. We're still going to get practice in that morning before we leave. So it's the same thing that we do every week, just a flight this week instead of a bus drive.
And with another win under their belts, the players say this past weekend's victory will help them in this upcoming game.
Most definitely, our team is focused like we've always been, and understand that when we play our game, nobody can stop us.
It was big for all of us. We all needed it just to get our mind off all that negativity going around. That win just kind of gives us a little something to roll on to this week.
Amy Alston, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The Trojans will look for their first win away from home this Saturday in Moscow, Idaho, with kickoff set for 4 p.m. The men's basketball team will look to start their season tonight against Bruton Parker. The Barons have already opened their season. They are currently 4-1, their only loss on the road. Last year, Bruton Parker finished the season 9-15 overall on the season, while their away record was 2-9. Troy had a tough season, finishing last season 11-20 and a conference record of 6-12. However, head coach Phil Cunningham says they have a lot of similarities to the team they played in the exhibition game.
They're a non-D1. They're an NAIA team. They've played 4 or 5 games. They've been a real high-scoring team. I think they'll be similar to West Florida in terms of pretty advanced offensively, because they get to start practice a little earlier. But it'll be a game that hopefully it'll be a challenge for our guys and get them ready for that next portion of the schedule.
The Trojan season starts tonight at 7 p.m. in the Trojan Arena. The women's basketball team will have their season opener against Auburn tonight as well. Last season, the Trojans struggled with the record being 12-18. The Trojans' away record was no different, as they struggled on the road with a record of 3-11. Although Auburn's overall record was 19-15, most of their wins came from their home court with a record of 15-4. The Trojans then turn around to play a tough Clemson team on Sunday. Last season, the Tigers had an overall record of 15-16 as well as a home record of 10-6. Head coach Chandler Rigby says that all they can do is prepare for their opponent.
We've got to do everything more precise and more intense than they do to have a shot at winning that game, and that's exactly what we're working on this week. We practiced already this morning really early. We're doing a lot of toughness things, a lot of things to get us mentally and physically tough, and also trying to make sure we paid a high enough price to not surrender easily.
The Trojans will take on Auburn tonight at 6 p.m. The volleyball team will look to salvage the rest of their season and break their 16-game losing streak against a familiar Texas State team. The last time the Trojans took on Texas State was early in the season, and the Bobcats beat the Trojans with a score of 2-3 in a 5-set match. Since their last matchup, the Bobcats now have a record of 17-11, and their home record is 10-4. Away, the Trojans struggle with a record of 1-9. Head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick says he knows it will be a tough matchup away from home.
We couldn't really slow them down very much. We did a really good job against their 2 really, really nice outside hitters, but we just couldn't slow them down on the right side. So we're putting a key emphasis on that side, and putting the ball away when we have opportunities to on our side will help us as well.
The match will be this weekend in San Marcos, Texas.